Everyone, welcome back. Thought I'd do a bit of a live commentary today. Just playing some Countdown, as you can see here. I want to talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow is the 4th manhunt. I believe it's Ante. I think that's the name of the manhunt. And then obviously we got the final manhunt as well. Once you've obviously completed Ante, you'll get the final manhunt. I haven't played Countdown for a while. I had an issue earlier where it just kept cutting out. I thought they'd fix that, but I still get that issue sometimes, where you lose basically everyone. But yeah, and as I was saying, so yeah, tomorrow we got Ante, and then we've got the final manhunt, which I'm looking forward to because yeah, I'm expecting some big stuff tomorrow. What exactly is going to happen? I'm not over. I mean, I kind of know because there's been some leaks. I mean, there are some stuff. I'm not going to talk about that stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously season 4. The last season, year 4, last season of year 4, last manhunt of year 4, and then in a month's time, basically, we're looking at year 5. I was actually going to make a video about a comment. I've actually made a script about a comment that I received in regards to the Descent gamer, which I'll probably put out after this video. What I'll probably end up doing tomorrow is making a video on the actual. Oh, I'm not going to get this. Obviously, on the new target and stuff, and what revelations we get, because I'm expecting there to be some pretty big stuff coming tomorrow, guys. Obviously, it's going to set it up for year 5. There's been some kind of, if you listen to some of the comms and stuff, I don't know how many of you guys actually listen to the comms. I'm not even paying attention to me playing here. And I made a video on this. Then there's been a lot of mention of St. Louis or Louis. I'm not sure exactly how you say it, but there's been a lot of mention to St. Louis, about this being a location that we're going to go to. Maybe we're going to explore more about that in the comms tomorrow. Is anyone going to pick me up? No? Excuse me? Hello? Oh, what am I... That's a hunter, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know why I'm asking the hunter to pick me up. But yeah, so yeah, there's been a lot of comms about St. Louis, so we might hear more about that tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to, because there's the possibility that this is going to be maybe a DLC in the future, although there's also the idea that actually this is just kind of almost like a Natalia doing us, saying this is going to happen and this is going to happen. It's going to make us go somewhere or do something that we... Basically a trap. And that's kind of the inclination from the comms, is that we're possibly walking into a trap. And that may be true. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. I'm kind of looking forward to the cutscene, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a cutscene at the end of this season. There has to be, really, don't there? I'm looking forward to seeing how that cutscene kind of lays the groundwork for year 5, which at the moment, in terms of story, all we've had are the names of the seasons. Again, I'm starting a video. I'm starting a script for that on the actual names of the seasons, because if you go back to all the seasons we've had before, then generally speaking, the season name is a big indicator as to what that season is going to be all about. And so it would make sense that we speculate on that stuff, because, hey, why not? So yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen with year 5, and I'm expecting obviously the end of year 4 to give us some idea as to what we can expect for year 5, or at least what the first season of year 5 is going to be all about. I suspect, and I'll talk about this more in a future video, I suspect something's going to go down where someone is kidnapped or something along the lines of that. Maybe I'm not totally sure, because it's called Broken Wings, which when I read that I thought Broken Wings to me sounds like, almost like you're broken as a I don't know, as an agent, and usually that comes from you losing someone, or someone being taken from you, or somewhat along the lines of that. So yeah, we'll obviously have to wait and see what happens with the end of year 4 and year 5. Like I said, we have seen there has been some spoilers out there. I have some idea as to what we can expect. I mean, I don't have a full idea. I've got a relatively good idea as to what might happen, but obviously until it's in the game, I mean, these spoiler things are always, you never quite know how accurate they've been. I remember ages ago where there was a mine or a spoiler about us fighting hunters on a bridge for one of the raids, which was just not what happened, how it went down at all. And so, as I say with all my spoiler videos, or when I cover them, you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the spoilers for tomorrow, because I don't know what's going to happen. I certainly don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season in terms of the trailer. I got no idea how it's going to actually, what's going to happen in that. I assume Natalia is going to be quite a big part of that, I suspect, because she's been in the comms, obviously talking to all the manhunts for this season, and she's kind of like she's the big bad boss, at least at the moment. There's also there was also some comms, I think, where it talked about Kina as well. Possibly, I don't know if they're returning or if maybe Kina had put something in place that could be coming to fruition at some point. I'm not quite sure, but there is some. I think there's some lore about Kina possibly being involved somehow. I don't know if that's in year 4, the end of this season, sorry, or if it's going to be next season. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, that's. I mean, surely there's no way that Kina comes back, right? I mean, I can't see that happening. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. But I've got to admit, I'm actually excited for the lore for once, which, if you asked me that, a couple of years ago, I would have said absolutely not. I mean, lore for me has never been a huge part of any game that I've ever played. Destiny is one of the only games where I've really got into the lore, and I think Destiny lore is absolutely awesome. I feel like the lore, the writing for the Division 2 has got significantly better. And with the new narrative director in the game, I can't remember her name. Then I think that's had a real positive impact on the narrative for this game, and I'm more excited for the lore tomorrow than I am for anything else. I mean, the manhunt targets to me, I mean, they need a lot of work. For me personally, I think the way that manhunts work, generally speaking, they've been okay for a while, but they're kind of. We've all done it 1,000 times, right? They're outdated, and we're not gonna see what's gonna happen with that until Seasons 2.0, which comes in Season 4 of Year 5. So you're looking at what, March next year, possibly. So in about a year's time, because I think Seasons 1, 2, and 3 don't have Seasons 2.0, so it's going to work very much like it has been working in terms of the manhunt structure, which is a shame. I was hoping it would have come with the start of Year 5, but it's not. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Seasons 2.0. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can guess, and again, I've made a video on what might happen with Seasons 2.0. But tomorrow is huge for the Division 2. Tomorrow is huge because I think there's a lot of people that are excited for Year 5. There's a lot going on in this game at the moment, in the universe, and I think if Year 4 can end on a pretty strong, note, then I think it really sets up Year 5. And also for anyone who's new to the game, who may be just joining for this year or for the end of this season, they need to make sure that those players come back. And I think, giving us a really good end cutscene at the end, or something really good at the end of this manhunt, would be ideal for us to get a really strong Year 5. Year 5 looks like it's going to be strong, at least from what we've been told, in terms of, there's a full team working on it. It's the first full year of the Division 2 where they've had a full team working on it. That was covered in an interview with Yannick. So there's a lot of pressure on Massive to do big things for Year 5, but they need to set it up properly with the end of this season. And I think they might do. I really think that at the end of this season, this tomorrow, we're all going to be excited for Year 5. I really think that's going to be the case. And I hope it is, because I would like for the story to continue to be strong. I see no reason why it wouldn't be strong. With the way that it's been going, there's no reason why they can't maintain this strong story. But yeah, if someone does get kidnapped, or someone is, if someone is killed, then I wonder who that might be. Who could it be? I'm just trying to think who it could be. I don't know. It's going to have to be someone fairly important, because if it needs to be someone that we're kind of invested in, because if it's just a random character, then I don't know. I feel like you're not invested in that character, so it has to be someone that's pretty important to the story, or has been. Maybe not. It doesn't have to be someone recent, but certainly someone that's been important to the story previously. But they need to set it up properly. We need to make sure we're invested in the characters, or character that's maybe been kidnapped. And I don't know if it's been kidnapped. I'm guessing, guys. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to be kidnapped. Someone's going to die. I'm not sure. The other thing is Barden Schaefer. I mean, we've still got him at the White House. I believe he's in a coma. And there's been comments from Natalia talking about Barden being there and whatnot. So I wonder if Barden Schaefer's going to have a part to play in tomorrow's manhunt. Whether he wakes up, I'm not totally sure. Or will it just be that, you know, he's going to stay there until year 5? I don't know. I mean, Bard and Schaefer, I feel like it was an eternity ago that we actually got Bard and Schaefer. I remember when we completed the manhunt for Bard and Schaefer, and everyone was like, so is he dead? Because it's the thing is, the way that the game's made, it's hard to know if someone's dead or if they're in a coma, like Bard and Schaefer is. Because normally you would need to hear the comms that say, you know, agent deceased or whatever it might be. But sometimes, I think when we had the Fei Lao one, it didn't work properly, and everyone was questioning, well, is she dead? Isn't she dead? We're not quite sure, because it didn't say she was deceased, but she could be. And I think it ended, obviously we know now that she did, but it was never obvious, I don't think. And so obviously Barden being in a coma, and I'm assuming maybe quite important to Natalia's plan. Will he play a part in the end of this season? I'd be surprised. I think that'll probably be more of a year 4 thing. The last thing I want to mention before we, because I've just been rambling here, going into this video, is the last cutscene that I remember was Natalia with all the all the watches, shade watches, and then obviously there was the hunters and whatnot, and that was such an ominous image. And I wonder what part that's going to play in either the end of this season or year 5, because it kind of looked like, it almost looked like they had all the watches together to create some, or I'm not totally sure. I mean, is there a way that they can use the watches to take down the Shade Network or interrupt the Shade Network? That was my original idea for Descent. I thought that's what Descent was. I didn't realise, obviously I didn't know Descent was a simulation. I thought Descent was a mode because Natalia had used some kind of something to take down the Shade Network, and that's why we're in the Descent mode. But it's possible that those watches are actually something to do with the end of this season. And I feel like I'm here on my own here, guys, and I might get destroyed if I take a leap here. So I'm not gonna go too far. Maybe go up here. We should be right here. But yeah, I'll call it an end there. I mean, we're almost at the end of this one here, and this is quite a long episode, I think. But yeah, guys, tomorrow's going to be massive. I think it's going to be really important for everyone. I mean, if you've been playing Division 2 for a while, and you know about there being the manhunt tomorrow, then you really are going to want to play it, because I think tomorrow's going to be huge for year 5, really big for year 5. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss that. I think. Oh, I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'll just call it an end there because I'm an idiot. Anyway, guys, until tomorrow's video, epic out.